Hello everyone, it's Christian here from Chad Magic. I hope you're well. I wanted to show you guys a deck today, Azorius Soldiers. Really excited about it. Basically, the story behind this deck is I play a lot of Pioneer. This isn't Pioneer, this is Standard. And I qualified in the RCQ for the European Championships over in Naples in March. So I need to get a bit more familiar with Standard, play a bit more Standard, understand the meta. And I want to show you guys the deck I'm playing at the moment because it's pretty good. And I've seen different variants of Azorius Soldiers, but I think I've found like a really good one here. I've changed a lot out the sideboard that some of the other ones have just to deal with the current meta. I wanted to show you and then get into some games. It will be best of 3, so I know that's not everyone's cup of tea, but I promise you they're definitely worth watching. There's a great matchup against Grixis coming up, which is the most popular deck in the format. So even if you're not a Soldiers player, you're playing Grixis, I'm sure you'll be interested to see that one as well. So just to show you, the deck itself has got a 71% win rate at the moment, and you can see the matchups here that it comes up against. There's quite a lot of different ones here, but most of them are a reasonable matchup. The bad one being Is It, but I've sideboarded a little bit differently for that particular matchup. So yeah, we'll get into the deck list. So I always want to run an aggressive start with this deck because it runs creatures low to the ground and it's really aggressive. The deck basically wants to be aggressive, get creatures on the board, get a bit more value out those creatures, and then finish off with like a Harbin, which I'll show you in a second, which basically gives all your soldiers flying. There's multiple ways to pump your soldiers and get them going, and that's very much in the first game. In the second and third games, it becomes a little bit more sort of tempo based, a little bit more maybe even mid-rangey in the way that it plays, in the sense that you're looking to kind of like get your creatures to be a bit bigger, a bit wider than your opponents, rather than the full-on more sort of aggro variant of the first matchup. So I'll go through the deck anyway. In the 1-drop slots, we're running 4 of Yachty and Frontliner. It's basically, it's a 1/1 that can attack. It can unearth for another 1/1 later on, and when it attacks, it gives another creature +1/+1 until end of turn. Really useful for sort of getting through those attacks, just being an aggressive creature. Recruitment Officer, which in my opinion is one of the best 1-drops that's been printed in the last few years. This went straight into my Pioneer Mono White Humans deck, as well as this Azorius Soldiers deck. And basically this is really good in the late game. You get this off the top, you put a 1-drop down and you're able to go and find something else. But in the early game, it's also a 2/1, which can be pumped as well. So a really good 1-drop there. 2-drop slots, running loads of 2-drops. Guardian of New Benalia. I've seen a lot of lists not run this. I think it's really important because there's so many like cheap removal spells for your creatures in the meta. There's so many ways to remove things that basically you need to have a way to do it. And you'll be surprised how often the Scry 2 comes up from enlisting as well. You're able to pump it. It's basically, you can give it indestructible. Really good creature for sticking around. Then into the other 2-drop slots, we got Resolute Reinforcements. It's a really good because it basically creates another 1/1, so you get 2 soldiers at flash speed. Really useful going into like your finisher. Thalia Guardian 3, then I've got a 2 of here. It helps slow down those other decks that are running lots of non-creature spells. They have to get rid of it. It creates such a problem for them. I'm running a 2 of just because it's a legend. The legendary rule can be a bit of a thing. Also, it tends to not be as good against every matchup, but it's certainly good against most. Valiant Veteran as a 4 of, it's basically a Lord, gives other soldiers +1/+1, so your team goes wide, and then this gets them bigger. Really good as well, protecting against some of those spells like Abrades and things like that, which do a set amount of damage. Harbin, I'm running a 3 of. I've seen this being run as a 2 of or a 4 of. The legend thing, it makes me go down to 3 instead of 4 because you can get this stacked in your hand a little bit. This is essentially the finisher for the deck. When you attack with 5 or more soldiers, creatures you control get +1/+1 again flying until end of turn. Really useful finisher there to just basically give your whole team a +1/+1 and be able to get in. Brutal Cathar, everybody by now should know this card. It's been a menace in the format since it's been in. Basically, it comes down, exiles your opponent's thing until it leaves the battlefield. This has to come out though against some matchups because essentially it will just get destroyed and you end up kind of 2 for 1 in yourself, and your opponent gets the value back off the original creature. Siege Veteran is the Luminarch aspirant we have at home. It gives a +1/+1 counter on your target creature, but also helps protect against board wipes as well. So if you have this down, the opponent wipes the board. Any non-token soldier creatures that you have on will give you a token artifact creature soldier back onto the battlefield. So really useful there. Sky Strike Officer, fantastic card, really, really good. This helps generate value. You're able to tap your soldiers to draw cards, which is fantastic. It comes down, let's say you played a Resolute Reinforcement the turn before, you're able to tap a few soldiers, gain, draw some cards, and when it attacks, actually creates a soldier artifact as well. So it's really, really useful. Mana base, I'm running 2 Iganjo. You'd be surprised at how often this comes up. Really, really relevant card. 3 planes, 1 island, 1 Atawara Soaring City, just to help return and bounce something. Then in terms of getting the other colours in the mana base, we've got 4 Adarkar Wastes. We've got 4 Fortified Beachhead. Just we'll pull out this card for a second because it's really, really important. This allows you to pump your whole team as well, and it really enables the deck. It's a great card for it. It basically is a dual colored land that can come down, and you reveal a soldier, you can play that straight away, and then of course you can use it in the late game to pump it. A recent change the deck I've made, I took out I think it's Deserted Beach, which is the blue-white land that comes in tapped unless you control 2 or more lands. I've replaced that with Mishra's Foundry because it's really important against control that you're able to get that last bit of damage in or attack with that extra creature. So this can actually be really, really relevant. And then Secluded Courtyard, every creature in the deck is a soldier, so this one is, it goes without saying, this is really useful because essentially you can tap for both mana straight away. Sideboard, I'm running 2 Spell Pierces. This is really against your sort of spell heavy matchups. You want this in against Grixis for sure, against Izzet, anything that's looking to bring down those Planeswalkers as well onto, like, so if you're against a deck that's running the Wandering Emperor, this can really help upset that curve. They don't get to exile your thing, really throw them off. Or even just, you don't want your opponent to cast 2 things, so even if they can pay for the Spell Pierce, it might still create a problem for them if they have to pay. Destroy Evil, probably the most important card in the sideboard. This is the one that comes in the most. So let's say, for example, you're against Grixis. I know I mentioned that a couple of times. That will destroy the opponent's Shieldrids. It will also destroy their opponent's Reflections of Kiki-Jiki enchantment as well. Really, really important. Quite often, if I'm putting in this type of removal, it's Brutal Cathar that comes out, or the Yotian Frontliner. The Yotian Frontliner is not quite as good when you're on the draw, and then Destroy Evil is so important. It's also good against creature matchups as well. So if you're against like a mono green or something like that, it'll be useful. It's just basically really good removal. AO the Dawn Sky, this is in against those games where you just need something to go over the top at the end, or you just need that big flyer, anything that's going to go a bit longer. This is a really good card. When it dies, you can basically put loads of stuff from your deck onto the battlefield, or you can pump your whole team. So really, really good card there as well. This is one that I've not seen people running in the sideboard, but I've put it in there because there is so much removal that's single target in the meta at the moment. So Boon of Safety is really, really useful. Basically, you put a shield counter on your creature, you slow roll something like your Thalia or your Siege Veteran, something that's important. They try and braid it, you cast this, they don't get to do that, you get the Scry, and it really upsets the opponent in terms of allowing you to be aggressive. Lauren of the Third Path is a really, really good card as well. There's so many enchantments and artifacts in the format at the moment that this is worth running. One thing to note is this isn't a soldier, so Lauren unfortunately won't give you some of the benefits from the rest of the deck. However, being able to just come in and destroy an enchantment can be really, really important. And then it does have the ability to give you and target opponent a card, which has been relevant for me in some games before. And then finally, Marel, Shield of Argive. This is obviously a great card. A little bit difficult to get up to Marel. From my point of view, I think it's not something I will always sideboard in. But any of those decks, like the one with the blue artifact with Defender, which they want to like pump the mana into it and stuff like that, this is really good against that, and also stops your opponent sort of being controlling and casting things on your turn. That being said, against those decks, sometimes it is a little bit difficult to resolve. But if you do resolve Marel and she sticks on the battlefield, then you are in a really, really good position. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get into some games, and yeah, we'll see how the deck runs. Let's go. So thanks for joining me for the games. Playing best of 3. Currently waiting on the opponent. The opponent's decided to go first. What a surprise. We can keep this one. It's low to the ground, aggressive. Hopefully win the first game. So let's go for this. Revealing Yotian frontliner. And let's get Yotian down onto the board. So mono green. Will you want to trade that? I do not think that you will. So I think we'll just go in and attack here. Alright, so yeah, looking to flash in my resolute reinforcements. Sure. Hideaway farm. So beginning of combat on your turn, or +1/+1 counter on target group you control. Okay, so this thing's going to get bigger. Should we remove it? No, let's race. Let's race. So let's go Yotian frontliner. And a valiant veteran. Let's get some attacks on the go. Pump you. Right, so you're going to grow your thing again? Is that the plan? Another big creature, maybe? Probably running tighter than Industry in this deck, I would have thought. So this, he just wants this to get bigger and bigger, essentially. No blocks. Yeah, makes sense to get rid of that. So let's go for another one. Swing in. Opponent doesn't like that one bit. Don't think they can get up to the Titan of Industry. So they do gain some life though. We're now dealing. Oh, okay. Opponent scoops it up. So go into sideboarding. Okay, so what do we want? So we can destroy. If we have some enchantment removal, that'd be good. So I think we want to get rid of the Yotian on the draw. And we'll get the Destroy Evil to get rid of its bigger creatures. Brutal Cathar kind of like. I like to keep the flyers in. We can maybe cut the 2 Thalias and get into Lauren of the Third Path. Just to be able to destroy more artifacts and enchantments. Because it does run some enchantments. Maybe they'll cut those. Maybe I'll do one of you and then a big flyer at the end to get in for the last damage. Yeah, that seems fine. So opponent's done sideboarding. Quite rude that they sort of fell asleep while we were going there. Let's see how we get on with this one. Okay, yeah, 1 drop, 2 drops. Yeah, let's go. That one. Recruitment Officer. Great card. I'm playing this in Pioneer Humans as well. That's less good. I don't like that very much. But we can squeeze in an attack here. But the opponent has got some ramp. There we go. Now I can get rid of this enchantment. But it's not the right thing to do. So we've got a choice here. I think the best thing to do is get the Sky Strike Officer down. And then we can draw some cards and try and get some card advantage on the opponent. Okay. I'm glad I held up the removal because we want to get rid of this. Sure. Sure. Okay, so we've got some big bodies now. Let's draw some cards. Right, so we can put this one on here. destroy this. We need to pressure our opponent's like so. Right, let's see what the opponent's got their sleeve. I can flash this in to create 2 2/2s, which might be worth it because we might be able to block, or if the opponent attacks, we might just want to. Mind you, they're going to make this a 7/7, so that's not a 7/5, which is not ideal. So they are going to be able to play something here for free. Aye. We'll take the 7 here. Yeah, we'll take the 7. So let's... What have you got? Another blocker, that's not good. Let's get these in play. And let's draw another card. This trample's not good for me. Okay, so this is a little bit worrying now. Yeah, then we will just end the turn there and we will have to block like there's no tomorrow. Sure. Wow, there's some big attacks coming our way. Okay. So we need to not take 13 damage. Is it possible for us to not take 13 damage? We shall try. Okay, so blockers. Block here. I'll take 5. Block here. That means that we're not, so we're still taking 2, 12, 21. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're now taking 2, 4. Now taking exactly 13. So a bit like this. I think that's enough. Let's draw some cards. Maybe I've blocked wrong. The opponent seems to be pretty happy with himself. Yeah, so we're down to 4. Right, so we can get rid of everything that's left. Is that 5? He does 10 damage. Oh, we're 1 short. I miscalculated. No, I didn't. No, I didn't. No. Oh, hang on. So that's just 5 to pump everything. So if the opponent blocks, then we're kind of done for, aren't we? So yeah, I've miscalculated. Miscalculated. Should have done the math. Yeah, so opponent's got us on this one. Right, that was my fault. I could have won there had I just blocked with 1 less thing. Right, so what do we want to do here? Do we want to change anything up? This is a little bit difficult to get to. I think that's a little bit too expensive. Yeah, what should we go for then? Should we go for another Lauren to get rid of one of those fight rigging? I think I maybe didn't attack that quick enough. Let's see how we get on. Los Divides. Take the play, please. Oh, my days. Oh. Yeah, I guess we'll keep this. Take this to the bottom, just because we can't play it yet. Right, let's attack. End the turn. Sure. Right, so I can pump these. So we can get in for some damage at least. I've got removal, so if they play a big boy, chunky boy, then I should be able to get around it. God, this is an annoying card. This is really driving me mad. So he's able to put a +1/+1 here. So it makes my effect much worse. So I think what I do here is I think I just Brutal Cathar to get rid of this and just try and swing in. I think that. Oh, and the opponent scoops it up. So there we have it. We won the first game. Happy days. On to the next one. Okay, so here we are now in the second game. I'm going to choose the play. I mean, thanks, Arena. Appreciate that one. Yeah, I can keep this. I think I'd probably ditch a Sky Strike. I'm really tempted to get rid of a land, but I've got all 3 drops in my hand. So, yeah, we'll have to go this way. Yeah, the Mishra's Foundries are a late addition to the deck. I was running the other land, the one that taps for a blue and a white, but it comes in tapped unless you control 2 or more lands, so it was just a little bit slow. I put the Mishra's Foundry in there because I think that that's like a bit more important versus control. So what have we got here? Grixis. Okay, we don't want to really be committing too much to the board here, so let's enlist this. So we can get our scry on to move any lands to the bottom. Brutal Cathar. Don't know if I want a second Brutal Cathar. So let's take the Harbin. Swing for 4. And then let's get down the Sky Strike Officer. Going pretty aggressive here. Opponents probably does have some removal. Oh, we got the counter spell. Fair enough. So yeah, Grixis is super popular. Like, everybody loves Grixis so much. So yeah. Right, so what do we want to do here? Right, so let's go combat. List this. Let's go for this on top. Does it block? No, no block. Then we will go for the Harbin. Well, we can. I'm going to keep this land up so I've got something to discard to Guardian Nubile and Benelia. Yeah, so Grixis is one of those where it's a tough matchup, but it's a common matchup. We do have some sideboard cards that can really help, but they'll probably sideboard in their removal. Yeah, you are not long for this world, Harbin. Opponent gets their treasure. Yeah, going down that card's really difficult against Grixis. Yeah, so recruitment officers down. There we go. We'll just play the land this time. Swing in. And yeah, in turn, we'll flash in Resolute Reinforcements. Need to get rid of this creature. Problem for us. Problem for everybody. Reflection Kiki Jiki. This is a frustrating one, so I can flash in here. Sacrifice this. Does the opponent get greedy? Do they want the treasure? Okay, so we go to my go here. Right, so the Iganjo is an interesting one here. So I think we enlist. Scry. Oh, these are both not the best cards here. I would rather have a flyer. So let's see what we can do. Then I do want a Brutal Cathar to keep the GP. Yeah, it'll give him another thing if and when, and they will have the removal for the Brutal Cathar. But it comes back and just gives it 2/2 and it slows them down a little bit. Yeah, a Braid in the main board, obviously. Hey, let's see what we get up the top here. We're running really far behind now. Oh, this is a big problem for us. Okay. Let's scry. Oh, okay, we keep getting these creatures back, so this isn't going to do it. We need to get a flyer, but it's probably not going to happen. Double block. Let's get rid of that. Recruitment officer. Yeah, they get to filter their hand. So yeah, already thinking about sideboarding. We need to bring in all our enchantment hate. Yeah, recruitment officer goes. Component at this stage has just got unlimited removal. So they can crew that. I guess we'll just run out of Thalia. But at this point the writing's on the wall. We can't attack, so too slow this time. The Brutal Cathar is so easily removed by this death. And there's the shield drill, and yeah, that's going to be game. So we'll go into game 2. So yeah, Yotian's going to come out. Brutal Cathar is going to come out. It's just too easily removed by the opponent. We're going to bring in definitely 4 Destroy Evils, definitely 2 Long of the Third Paths, and also the Spell Piercers as well. That seems like the reasonable way to go with things. The Siege Veteran is also a little bit slow against them. Tempted to bring out the Resolute Reinforcements as well and bring in Boon of Safety to protect our creatures. So let's try this one. Opponent sideboarding, currently scrambling to get all their Braids and any other removal they have not put in the deck straight in there. It was a bit brutal there with the 6 cards, very difficult. The Grixis is really quite grindy. Maybe I should have seen the counterspell come in and done things a bit differently there. Right, into second game. Let's hit play. Okay. You can heat this. go with the Dark Art Wastes. Let's get the Guardian of New Benalia down. Sure. Now this is an interesting one because we probably do want here then to bring this down and to start building this up. Because the Blood Tithe Harvesters are purely for a removal basis. I don't mind discarding a card to keep it on the board. But now it can't get rid of the Guardian of New Benalia. Wonder what's coming down. Is it the card they always have? GGE. Okay, so we're going to see removal on this instead. Okay, so this is aggressive component. So we can defend the next one with a Spell Pierce. So we're going to try and resolve it. I'm going to put this one on here because I think that makes it a little bit difficult with the Blood Tithe Harvester. And then I should gain a bit of tempo next turn by potentially... Okay, we've got a land, so it could be difficult. Another Blood Tithe Harvester. So now we can get rid of the Guardian of New Benalia, which I think will happen. Oh, the Siege Veteran still goes. Oh, that's a good way for the opponent to play around that there. Okay, so I think we'll go for... I think something's getting removed here, so I'll play this down. Attack with this. Okay, damage is going to be dealt. And we'll see. Yeah, Grixis is such a good deck. I've beaten it a lot, but I've lost to it a lot. It's one of those that is a little bit difficult. Okay, so we're going to see instant sorcery revealed here. Okay, cast down. So that's going to happen. I think here we want to just play both and try and run out a bit aggressively. It's difficult from here because the opponent's probably able to do something and put up some blockers and all that type of naughty stuff, but we'll see. You got the opponent. Okay, you got the Shieldred. That's not fun whatsoever. So we do need to draw it into the thing that we need. So we'll do it now, see if we... So we did get it, but have they got another one? Oh, we win this one. Okay, so going into the third game, is there anything I want to change here? No, I think this is kind of where we want to be, but we'll see how the third game plays out. So into game 3. Yeah, I don't know if the opponent did need to scoop there, actually. Okay, so we've got a good curve here. but we haven't got any of our protection. But I definitely don't see a reason to mulligan this. So let's start going for it. Can't protect off Thalia, which is frustrating. So we may be leading to Guardian of Nubenelia. Let's check. Okay, so go for a soldier here. I think I am going to go for the Thalia to throw them off curve because I don't think we have anything here. Right, so let's see if we can get this down. Okay, so I get rid of that. Did have the Abrade, but they chose not to use it on Thalia. Right, so we're definitely going to see some kind of counter or something here. So maybe I want to attack first, even though I can get them bigger. So counter it unless I play 2. So let's just try and get it down. Don't want to put out everything. Okay, so we're going to see Thalia kill here. Maybe I should have just run everything out. I don't know if they're playing board wipes. There's one that does 3 damage to everything, which is particularly good against us. Okay, so we've got Blood Tithe. Sure. Okay, Reckoner. That can be crewed by the Blood Tithe Harvester. Okay, so I think that they will almost certainly crew the Bank Buster. So in response to them crewing it, I can kill it. Let's try that. Yeah, so let's see if we can get rid of the Bank Buster. 4 blocks as well. So the opponent goes down to 4. That is less health than the opponent would like to be on. That's for sure. Go on, sack that blood token. Let's see, can we come back from 1-0 down to win 2-1? Okay, that's a pain in the arse. It's another blocker for the opponent. Oh, where were you last turn, mate? Right, so I think the move here. Okay, so it's going to gain 2. Can make this attack with all. Okay, so if I attack with all, he blocks with 1, gains 2. Can he create another one of them next turn? Yeah, he can. It's a bit of a difficult one. Right, I think we maybe want to play the long game here. Yeah, let's draw some cards. Or a card. Sorin is a pain. Oh, Spell Kiss isn't going to do it, is it? think I still want to do it, so they can't play anything else. Yeah. Yeah.
We're all. You feel my servant.
Sure. God, that Sorin is really, really painful. Okay. Now we can pump the team though. What do I lose? Do I lose the Valiant Veteran? Pump team. Okay, so now this bit. This can help me protect something. Yeah, and I can pump and protect in the next turn. So this gets blocked. It's an easy block for the opponent. Sure. What have you got? Something annoying, probably. Another blood tithe, okay. Can't currently get rid of anything. No, I really wanted that. Why do they have 50 abrades in every deck? Sure, greedy. Right, so... three attackers. One. Opponent's top deck in like there's no tomorrow here. Sure. What have you got? Sure. You need those blockers up then, don't you? Okay, so if I attack with the... That's going to be a 2-2. That's an additional 2-2. Yeah, and then deal the damage to the blocker. Deal the damage to this. 4 attackers. Sure. Sure. Stop your lifelink. Whoa, what a game. What a game that was against Grixis. Wow. Well, we won that one. Thanks very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the games. I'll be back with the post-game wrap-up. Hey, so we're back for the post-game wrap-up. Thanks for sticking around. I hope you enjoyed the games. You can see the two that we put on here and the results there. So, yeah, basically, I'm really happy with the deck. There are a couple of things I'm maybe a little bit unsure about. I think one of the things in there might be the 4 of Mishra's Foundry. I'm just a little bit worried about the mana base and having the mana to cover this. However, you can see in that Grixis game it was really important, and so it did a lot better for me than the Deserted Beach would have done. The other thing I'm maybe thinking as well is not running 4 Brutal Cathars in the main. I'm not too sure about that. Now, I know that there is a card, I think it's called Into the Trenches. Let's have a look. Yeah, Into the Trenches. I've seen this being run, so I'm probably going to try this out maybe in that slot as well. I'm a little bit meh on it because I think at some points in the game it's a 9 mana removal spell, which isn't fantastic, but perhaps it's worth it against some matchups that maybe might struggle to deal with just having bigger creatures, particularly good with like the likes of Resolute Reinforcements. I'm not 100% convinced on this, even though I have seen it on other lists. But yeah, we shall see. I'm going to get into the lab and have a little go with some more of these cards. Please let me know what you think and what you would play differently. Do you think that, oh, Christian, you've got this completely wrong, why aren't you running this card? That's a fair comment. You know, put it into the comment section. I'll take a look. I'm more than happy to try things out. I anticipate that this deck obviously will change when we have the next set released, I think in February. But I have to get a good grip on the meta now if I'm going to have a chance in Naples. But this is likely to be the deck I run, some variant of this, and if anything, I think this might get more support when we go to Phyrexia or Will Be One. Thanks very much for joining me. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Please leave a comment below. We're still looking to grow the channel and we appreciate your views, so thanks very much for sticking around. Bye for now.